Hello everyone, this is the Snapshot as part of AFL Unpopular Opinions. Dylan Leach in the chair for Ryan Cook, who's having a day off. Good on you, Ryan.
Well deserved, although probably not after our multis the last few weeks.
Well, he needs a spell. Needs a spell, maybe. Maybe not a day off, but just a spell. So that they've brought in me, of all people, to fill in. Hello, Tom Rockliff.
What's going on, Dill?
What isn't going on, more importantly?
We've got to land a multi. We need to get back for the punters.
Look, when you had the two in a row...
Yeah.
I've had 2 bags of snags get up so far this year, which isn't bad given where we're at the year, because it's round 8 into round 9, but we need to keep delivering because ultimately we want to beat the NRL show because they also have their multi and there's a bit of pride on the line.
Yeah, well, I think we're one up. I think they've only had the one, haven't they?
Yeah.
I think the NRL show. So we're one in front, but it'd be nice just another one to tick over.
Yeah, look, what I'm more interested is, like, with footy betting, what's your kind of favourite market do you look for? Like, do you like your margins? I mean, you were obviously a midfielder. People loved it. Do you look at the disposals? What are your sort of personal favourite ones to
Personal favourites, the ones on the Neds app would be the player market. So same game multi, I like the Bont for sort of 2+ and 20, 25+. So those sort of markets are me. And then also I like a high scoring game. So if there's a game...
You're an overs man.
I think there's going to be a high scoring game. So look at this weekend, nothing's jumping out at me as a high scorer, but yeah, I'll try and take over or alternate over total score.
And you're a big fan of the alternate lines as well. You've found some good value with those over the years.
Well, I don't like to do unders either because unders you can be done. I mean, overs, you always still got a pulse. So you're always still alive, even though it might be the last 10 minutes of the game. They might just go on a mad rush.
They could just go have a mad purple patch.
So you can never bet unders.
Never bet unders. Yeah. I don't mind that. I'm a big fan of margins. So I like the sort of margin markets.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's fun to capitalise on a trend. So at the start of the year, when Carlton was leading at halftime and losing every week, halftime, full-time doubles involving Carlton was just great value because you would pick Carlton to be in front.
Money for jam.
Yeah, you'd pick Carlton to be in front at half-time and whoever they were playing to win, and they'd be always paying like $6.50. So that was always like tick. Or even, certainly in the past few years, it's always been a favourite bet of mine, the try bet, but that's great to do when Collingwood's playing. So teams that are always involved in close games, you can still sort of have your cake and eat it if the try bet is paying, 2 evens, 2s. You're not sweating on a result. You're sweating on a total margin, but you're not sweating on who wins. So yes, it's an each way play, but it's a pretty good value play.
Bit of juice about that as well. You normally get pretty good odds on the try.
Yeah, it's not bad to try. And we actually also, some of our competitors don't do try bet on same game multis. We do, and we even offer fantasy points as well, which is pretty cool. And you would know about fantasy points. Being the fantasy,
them, so yeah, I know a fair bit about them.
Literally every viewer watching this would have had you as their captain at one stage in their super coach or AFL fantasy team.
Well, if they didn't, they probably lost more than they won.
Yeah, exactly. Which one did you do better in? Do you remember which one you did better in? Super coach or fantasy?
Not sure. Probably fantasy.
Yeah.
It seemed to be. Well, those guys love me, so the AFL traders. So I'd say fantasy.
That's right. Didn't they give you a pig?
Yep. Yeah. So probably them.
So, yeah, it's like you, Mick, who are the fantasy picks? So you, Swanee.
Grundy, I think.
I think Mick Barlow.
Tom Mitchell, no, I don't think Mick.
Early on, he would have got on there. Tom Mitchell, absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's do a bit of a futures forecast as well, because we're sort of, a third into the season now, you reckon?
Pretty
it's probably
much,
a third into the season. You said on AFL Unpopular Opinions this week there's 5 teams that you still have been winning the flag?
Yeah, probably 6, but I think definitely 5. So pretty much the top 3. So Brisbane, Collingwood, Hawthorn, Dogs, Cats, and you can probably leave the Giants in there as well.
So the Giants at $9, Bulldogs, Cats, 8s, Hawthorn, $7, Collingwood, $5.50, and Brisbane, the narrow favourites, at $5. Oh no, Collingwood and Brisbane are both the equal favourite at the moment at $5.50. It looked like a 30 there from where I was looking. Brownlow market, it's just Nick Dacos and Daylight right now.
What's he at now?
Nick Dacos is currently $3.50. Jordan Dawson from the Crows, 11. Matt Rowell, 11. Lockie, 13.
Yeah, I think
is it time to look
lose.
for a potential upset? Like, obviously, Dacos $3.50 at this stage, but it's still pretty early on in the season.
Well, probably not. Not when they're polling 50 votes in the year. It's hard. He's going to be hard to catch. He's going to poll a lot of 3s. So, yeah, it's probably his to lose at the moment. But you never know. He might fall over.
Coleman, that's somewhat competitive. That's literally just a two-way contest between Ben King and Jesse Hogan, unless Nick Larkey or Josh Tracy has a day out. I can't see Charlie Curnow.
Well, Jezza is the one. Jezza can potentially kick 10 in a game.
Yeah, so, that's true. And
if you get to 60-odd, you probably win it.
Well,
So.
if you're looking at that, Jezza Cameron's currently paying $15, and Geelong, it is a futures forecast, but Geelong usually get a game, just based on previous years, they usually get a game against a lower-ranked side in round 21 to 22, where Geelong. Jezza gets his annual 10-goal bag. So, yeah, that's...
Not the worst.
Not the worst to know of. And the rising star, well, that's Levi Ashcroft right now. It's $3.25. There is some competitive, both Sam Lawler and Connor O'Sullivan from the Cats at 6 and Murphy Reid from Freo at 7. It should be Levi Ashcroft. Sam Lawler's been sensational, but...
If Ashcroft plays most of the season, which it looks like he's going to, it's probably his. I would have thought. It's going to be hard to run down. He was impressive again last night.
Is there anything else that takes your fancy at the moment that you've taken notice of?
Not really. I think that's about it. I think there'll be some teams that obviously miss the 8. The Wooden Spoon will be interesting. Is it definitely West Coast?
Well, West Coast $1.50, yes. North Melbourne $3.75, Richmond $5.50. Richmond, I mean, I'm biased here. I don't think the Tigers will win the Wooden Spoon now. I think there's...
Well, if West Coast get up and about this weekend, which is a stretch, but if they get up and beat Richmond, then...
At the MCG.
That blows that open again.
Yeah. And North Melbourne $3.75. North plays Richmond the following week as well. So that might put some things in the markets there. And... a couple to miss the top 8. Is there anyone that you reckon is good value to miss the top 8 right now? Because I'm seeing teams like GWS currently $3 to miss the top 8. Adelaide $4, $4.50. The Bulldogs $4. Is there any sort of rank outsider? Because obviously there's the obvious ones: Melbourne, Essendon, St Kilda, Port. Like, we don't really need those in that conversation. Is there
Freo? What are Freo paying?
Freo's currently paying $1.40.
Yeah, I don't think there's anyone. I think the 8. You'd be pretty set with the top 8 the way it is at the moment. There won't be a great deal of change to that, maybe 1 or 2. So if you can identify one there that you think is going to slip out, whether you think the Suns may slip out. But I think, I can't see anyone under them sort of pushing in.
And I do see the Gold Coast Suns is for top 4 right now. I reckon it's pretty good value. $3.50 to make the top 4.
I don't think they'll make the top 4.
Yeah, I think so?
No, not after the weekend.
Oh, they got their 2 weeks in Darwin though, so I think usually.
But yeah, see, forecasting ahead to our multi, I don't think they'll get it done this week.
Let's do it. Now, last week's multi, how did we go in that one, Tom?
Well, I reckon we missed a couple. I think we had the Western Bulldogs 1-39, which was a blowout, so we were out in our first leg. I had the Giants head-to-head, which they got rolled.
Yep.
But I had the Crows head-to-head, which won. And I'm just trying to think.
You had the Geelong, Geelong alternative handicap 15 point.
Minus?
No, plus.
Yeah, so they won.
So you got up. So we got
2 out of 4.
2 out of 4.
Yeah,
2 out of 4 this week.
1 each for me and Ryan. So I think we're back this week. So I'll jump into this week. I'm just going to go head-to-head Monday morning. There's not a lot of markets there for us. So I'm going to take Sydney head-to-head to beat Essendon. I thought they were impressive on the weekend. And I'm going to take the Bulldogs to get the job done. I think they're starting to hit their straps with the best player in the competition back, Bontempelli.
Pretty even number. I'm always excited for the showdown. It's one of the best fixtures of the year. As we've discussed, it is the best rivalry in Australian sport. There's never a dull moment in a showdown. It's always, I think, with Port will be bloody hungry to compensate for last week. The Crows are...
Houston's not there either, so we've seen him knock ranking out last year, so he's not there though.
No, but I think the Crows, they're high scoring and they'll be fancying themselves in the showdown. It's a bit of a fancier one, but I think it's a good value bet. Either team, 24.5 or less, I think is a good shout in a showdown at $1.87. And Sunday, the blockbuster, the game that people are cancelling their Mother's Day lunch to go watch.
You're not.
Richmond, West Coast.
You know that we're not allowed to bet on them. We've put a line through those 2 teams this year. But Ryan's not here.
Not here. And this is a rare opportunity. This is going to be the only game for the entire year where the Tigers are favourites. Richmond by 15 or more points at $2.10 is pretty good value. They should get it done against lowly West Coast at the MCG.
Rule of thumb, you don't put Richmond or West Coast in, but
they're playing against each other. You're
a brave man.
Well, do you want to see what that total's up to?
What juice have we got this week?
$11.78.
That's not bad. We're due to hit one.
So let's recap. Swans head-to-head, Dogs head-to-head, any team 24.5 or less. That's between the Crows and Power in the showdown, and the Tigers by 15 or more against the Weagles, $11.78. I'm happy to play my part. Well, hopefully we get this one up. Let's get this up. Enjoy, punters.
You win some, you lose more. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website